Can we just talk? Can we just talk about where we're going? Talk to me, baby. Come and talk to me, baby. I really wanna. Can we talk for a minute?
What's going on, CWT
Hey,
fam? Oh my goodness, how are you? Welcome to the first edition of Second Sunday Live.
it's the first
All
one.
right,
We're
all right,
excited.
all right. So, without further ado, let's get started. We have like some amazing women here that are
Yes.
going to give us jewels like never before. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so I will start with Jennifer. I'm going clockwise.
Yes.
So, Jennifer, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Smith. I am currently a principal and I've been in education for 18 years.
Okay, all right, we like it. We like it. So, Jennifer, just to again start out, that we want to ask you two quick questions: what you listening to in heavy rotation this week, and what are you watching or reading?
So I am heavy rotation, calming R&B at this moment as we are
Okay.
11 more weeks until school is out. Just
Wow.
keep it calm and keep it steady.
Yes.
I'm really into the news lately, looking at all of the politics and things going. There's a lot of changes coming in education, so I'm just keeping my ear to the ground.
Okay,
Nice.
all right, we love it. Next on the list is Kendra.
All right. Good afternoon or evening, everyone. My name is Kendra, and I am an instructional coach and curriculum coordinator at a high school located in Washington, D.C. And just like Jennifer, I have also been in education for 18 years. So your two questions, right?
Yes.
Heavy rotation. Actually, I'm not listening to anything in heavy rotation because my answer combines with the second question. I actually just finished a audiobook. That's all I listened to in the car lately. And it was called The House of Eve. And so that's what I was reading / listening to most recently.
Okay, all right, all right. I love it. And Miss Leah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leah Powell, and I am actually a recent graduate from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. I graduated in May, and I am currently working as a legal assistant for an education advocacy program. I come from a mother who's been a special educator for my entire life, 23 years, and a brother who actually went through school with an IEP, so I'm kind of familiar with that world. And I'm actually currently in the airport leading a conference for parents and advocates. So sorry for the disruption in the background, but what are the two questions? What am I listening to and what am I watching?
Watching and reading.
Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a little young people stuff. I've been listening to Brent Fayez. He just dropped that album not too long ago. I'm not sure who's familiar. No shade. And as far as what am I watching? Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. I love it. I love it. Again, we are so excited that you guys are here. Just the fact that you are women of color in education, and this is Women's History Month. We salute you, we celebrate you, we love you, and you are highly appreciated and highly valued. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, you are appreciated. Y'all ready to get into this discussion? All right, first question I have. How do you ensure that, can you hear me?
Yes.
How do you ensure that students of color receive fair access to special education services? And anybody who wants to answer.
Anybody can take it. You all can take it. Go.
So I think as a parent of a child with an IEP, as well as having been a special ed specialist, I think the key thing is advocacy. Like, you have to make sure that you familiarize yourself with what the sped laws are, and then make sure that you are your child's best advocate. Because at the end of the day, you know your child at home, the school knows your child at school, and those two things combined is what helps to make sure that they receive the best education. And so no one piece is insignificant. You just have to make sure that um, your voice is heard all the way around. And so a lot of times, like, they try to stereotype Black and brown children to say, like, you know, you're hyper or you're not focused. And so coming in the door and being able to really speak to what your child can do, or what your student can do, is always a plus. Because if I can show you on paper, it exists. If I can't and it's just what I think, then it's just my opinion.
Gotcha. And let's back up for 1 second here for our audience. Can one of you give a breakdown of what an IEP is?
Uh, It's an individualized education program for a student. So if we have a student who is found eligible to have a disability under one of the 7 categories, then that student would be provided a individualized education program by their school system.
Okay. Okay. Um, so the next question is, what resources or tools have you found most effective in supporting academic and social emotional needs for Black and brown children? Leah, as an advocate, what do you think one of the tools that you all can use?
I feel like our most useful tool is just being human and making it known that we are human and that we experience life as well. What I've noticed from being in this position, I mean, it's only been what, like maybe 9 months, but children just want to feel seen and heard and want to be acknowledged as being human beings. Like, it doesn't always have to be an adult, scolding a child or telling a child what to do, more so than conversations or just general, I don't know how to explain it, but just being a good human being. And kind of to piggyback off of what Jennifer said, I kind of wanted to add this on to as well. It's very important to be that voice because so many times I feel like families and parents trust in the school system and trust in their child's school to make these decisions and to do right by them, as everyone hopes that they will, but your voice matters. Whatever, however you feel, even if you're uncomfortable, if you don't have the knowledge, speak up. It doesn't matter. Like, their job is to abide by you and to address your concerns and to make you feel more confident. And if you don't believe in the plan that they've put in place for your child, speak up, say something. One of our biggest things that we do with the education advocacy program that I work with now in Winston-Salem is we host Know Your Rights workshops. So many families don't know their rights in a public education setting. So I do think that's very beneficial. So if you do have a child who you suspect might need some extra assistance in class, whether that's a Section 504 plan or an IEP, do some research, figure out what that means. See if there are any workshops that you can attend, anybody that you can contact to kind of understand what it is that you're implementing and putting in place for your child, and making sure that the school also sees your child. Because what I've experienced is, if a school can convince you that they know your child better than you, they will. And I mean, you have to take matters into your own hands and just fight for what you want.
Okay,
Can I add on to that?
of course.
Or answering the same question, but just looking at it from the side of the educator in the room that is providing those resources for the students or the families. One of the things that I think is really important to make sure that we are providing the students with the resources they need, because the family can come in and advocate for them while they're in the IEP meeting, but the student is the one that's in the classroom with that educator, who that student needs to be aware of what their IEP says, listing out what is their disability, listing out where they are, listing out what are their accommodations and modifications that they're supposed to get in classrooms. And then they can advocate for themselves in the space. Also providing them with resources, because you spoke from the social emotional side. So then also thinking about what are those mental health options that we're providing the students so that they can tap into that. And the biggest thing that I think is a resource is just making sure that we're developing those relationships as the educator and getting to know our students. Because if we don't know our students, then we don't know what they may need. And Leah is right. A teacher, the school will say they know the students, but sometimes you may know the student what they're on paper. Knowing who that student is as a person is a whole different thing. And then that's how you can tap into what they need in the classrooms. And then also thinking about what challenges they face before they get into the classroom, that they need to be socially, emotionally, mentally prepared to receive whatever education is supposed to get for the day.
Wow. Yeah, that's that is a whole lot right there. But everything that you said,
Yes.
as a parent, I totally get it. I'm sure, Jazz, you can definitely agree with that, right? Just kind of being the voice
100%.
and
Yes.
going in for your
And
kids.
speak up for your babies. Yes. And Jen, you mentioned 7 categories. Can you break down what those 7 categories are?
Ooh, you try me on a Sunday. Okay. So if I miss one,
Okay.
we all family here. Come on, help me.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you start out with developmentally delayed. And so those are your babies who are 18 months until 7. You can hold a DD label, which means that you are 25% delayed. And then from there, you could have SLP, which is speech language delay. You could be LD, which is a learning disability. You could be ED, which is an emotional disability. You could be OHI, which there are a whole host of pieces that fall under the OHI category, but some of the common ones are ODD, which is oppositionally defiant, ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You could be ADD, which is just attention deficit disorder. Let's see where we're going. You might be MD, which is multiple disabilities. So a lot of times you'll see that there's like a combination of like health and learning disabilities going on. What did I miss?
Come on,
That's a
Kendra, step
great
in.
roundup.
I feel like she hit all of
That's
the
awesome.
normal
Thank
ones.
you.
I can't remember if TBI falls under as one
Yes,
of the
TBI
categories.
falls under that OHI.
Yeah.
Yes.
But those are the major ones that we typically
Okay.
see in a classroom, well, in the schools.
In school. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
So with that kind of being said, like what do you think, and this is just not for special education, this is for just education in general, especially when it comes to our Black and brown kids. How do you collaborate with families and the community to create that strong support system for our Black and brown children?
I think, well, I'll answer, and then piggybacking, similar to what Leah said earlier, is providing those workshops, welcoming parents. And as I said, you develop relationships with the students, but you also need to develop the relationships with the families, contacting families. One of the things that oftentimes happens is the educators or the school leadership is often reaching out to families when there is a problem or something has happened or there's an issue that needs to be addressed with the student. But we also need to reach out to families when their things are going right, and lifting those high tide moments for the families so that they know that their students are succeeding and performing well in class, or have done something, earned something that they should be proud of. The hosting maybe family nights so that the parents can see not just a back to school night, but then bringing them back in for other events that the school may be having. Like, it's about just welcoming them in and making them feel like they are part of the school community, and not just, I'm only being called and I only need to come in for back to school night and parent teacher conferences, and that's it. It's bigger than just these 2 moments in order to make sure we are collaborating as a team.
Leah, as a legal advocate, how do you feel that you can commit to bringing in families and communities to kind of build that support system? I know she went off camera, but I think she can still hear me. Maybe, possibly. Okay, go ahead, Jen.
So I would say from the administrative side, definitely piggyback on what Kendra said, just really getting families in. Like sometimes we try to have like chat and choose, and you might only get like one or two families. And so you try to come up with these creative pieces, because the thing is, if you're in the school and you're developing those relationships, people are unfortunately more likely to help you. They're more likely to try and work with your baby versus if they never see you. But the same goes the other way. Like if I know you and I've spoken to you every day and we've found a common ground, um, under whatever, like I have a parent now, we found a common ground under football. So we always talk football and we make jokes. And so then when I do have to come and have a tough conversation with you, it's a whole lot easier because you're ready to receive that. And her thing was actually, I didn't even know you were the principal because you do talk to us. And so just kind of breaking those barriers to where you are accessible to your families, and not like I'm this queen on a hill, but it's like, no, we are all in this thing together. We're trying to educate your babies. We're trying to cut that pipeline. And so I need you here, and I need you knowing what's going on. I need you engaged in what's going on so that you can fluidly speak to what your baby needs, because you're going to be advocating for this child from now all the way through. Even when they go to college, sometimes you're still going to have to be advocating for that child. So being able to communicate what you want, what you need, what you see, asking questions, it just always helps. Like getting as much information as possible out to your families is always helpful.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Leah. We can't hear you, Leah. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Poor baby. She in the airport having technical difficulties.
Hello?
Okay, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Are we better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we're on the same question, right?
Yes.
Okay. So our program that we run in Winston-Salem, so we're with a custody advocacy program, which is court appointed. So our program is fresh in the community, so our main thing is community outreach. That's our biggest thing. So we do travel to these low-income neighborhoods and do talk to these parents who might not have the education or the knowledge on the systems that are put into place inside of public school systems. I feel like that's one of the most important things. Like, I'm sure I'm piggybacking off of what somebody else said, but just those relationships to show people that we're all here for the same end goal. We all want your child to succeed. I feel like it's kind of been normalized for parents to feel like it's them versus the school, but it's important to remind them that we're a team. We might not agree on everything, but it's always important to keep the end goal in mind, which is for this child to succeed. So back to relationships, that's what I feel like the most important thing is. It's just the child feeling like you're there for them, as well as the family. They're both just as beneficial, just as important.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Jasmine, we getting some knowledge today, huh?
We are dropping jewels. They are dropping jewels. And to
Yes.
go off with that, I actually got an email last week from my middle schooler's teacher, science teacher. And I'm like, oh goodness, what's going on now? And she was actually telling me how dope my daughter is. She was like, I just want to let you know she is just a great student. I enjoy having her in my class. And I just wanted to let you know that. And I'm like, really? It just made my day. It made my day because you're the opposite. It's like, okay, she was 2 minutes late to class. This happened, that happened. But that really made my day.
Yeah, that definitely is what it's good when we, have praise reports for our children. You know what I mean? So like I always want to see the worst version of my child so that everyone else can see the better
The
version.
best. Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. Well,
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jess.
Okay, all right. Got one question for y'all. How do y'all prioritize self-care? Because you're helping out all the kids, you're helping out the parents. How do you make sure you take care of you during this process?
Go ahead, Jennifer.
I was actually going to let you go because I was going to say, I don't think I'm doing a good job of it because as you can see, I'm in the car because we're at soccer tryouts. So I'm learning. If I'm honest, I'm still learning how to. I think you do have to set some firm bounds. So like I won't call parents after a certain time, even if you call me. And I definitely don't do like I won't call you or you won't call me on the weekend. Like if I call you on the weekend, it must be like a complete emergency. Like I've never even had it happen, kind of emergency. So I think definitely setting those bounds, and I try to encourage my teachers to do the same, because if you don't, you'll get burnout. Because I think as an educator, and Kendra, you can let me know, you take this stuff home. You can't help but to. You dream about it, you wake up, oh, I got a solution to this problem. Oh my God. And it's like, I wasn't even thinking about this. I wasn't even trying to think about this, but it's just on your brain. And so really giving yourself like a day or two that you're like, okay, I'm not gonna think anything school, and almost having to consciously keep telling yourself, I'm not gonna allow myself to think anything school right now. I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna take a moment and just like either watch some mindless TV or listen to an audible. I do, do an audible sometimes in the car, or like I said, I'm on this like smooth R&B right now, so I can just calm my brain. In the morning, I'm heavy gospel, like give it to me as loud. I know they probably think I'm going crazy in the morning because I need it loud and like pushing it in there.
Yes.
And so just knowing what you need and when you need it, being okay about being like, you know what, I need a break. It's a lot going on. Like I'm not ready to tend to my family yet, and I'm not really ready to tend to your children yet either. Like I just need a whole break in between, and being okay and being honest with yourself when you really need to take those moments.
Gotcha. Leah, I know you're getting ready to get on a flight, so I'll let you answer really quick and then you can drop off.
Yes, really fast. So I was actually blessed with an amazing supervisor who definitely prioritizes self-care and being able to know where to draw the line. She doesn't talk to me about work after hours. She doesn't text me on the weekend about work. So she saves office stuff for when we're in the office on Monday. So I'm very appreciative of that. But for those who, can't always say the same thing, I think it's just important, like Jennifer said, to just kind of find what keeps you calm, being able to draw that line and that boundary, because so many people don't know when to say, okay, you know what, I'm done for the day. Like I'm wrapping it up, I'm gonna leave this here and I'm gonna go. A lot of times people can't do that. So just being able to draw those healthy boundaries and to just know that it's going to be there. Work is going to be there when you get back tomorrow. And if you don't take care of yourself, who will? When you're out of your position, somebody else is going to come fill it up. So you need to make sure that you're in good health. And honestly, the way self-care used to look last year, nails, hair, all that, self-care is so different this year. I want to lay in the bed. I want to chill. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to do anything that requires me to move my car, put gas in it, none of that. So with that being said, just kind of
That's
have
called
to know
adulting.
what makes you happy. Adulting is giving me a run for my money, but that's for another show on another day. Okay,
Yes.
love y'all. Gotta go. Gotta sign out. Love y'all.
All
Bye.
right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye. Okay, Kendra, how do you self-care?
That is a great question. I laughed the way that I did because um, I think Jennifer hit it right on the head with talking about that is something that I'm growing in. Being in leadership, it does not stop from thinking about your students, to thinking about my teachers, to thinking about what things I need to put in place to make sure that the next day or the next 2 weeks are in place regarding whatever is coming down the pipeline. So it is something that I'm growing and thinking about and trying to get better at. Most recently, I took a week off. I was supposed to travel, but I didn't end up traveling. I took the week off and I felt initially, I was like, oh, we're not traveling, so I'm going to give the half of the week back and I'm going to go in and do the things that need to be done. And then eventually I decided to just keep the week, and I did not open my laptop. I looked at what I did, what I had to do Sunday before my vacation started, and I didn't open that laptop up again until the next Sunday. Yes, the Sundays are the weekend, but I have to do work on Sundays. And it felt good. And then it felt even better when I got back to work on Monday and my teachers were commending me and, you know, supporting the fact that I took a week for a staycation, didn't go anywhere, but I was able to just detach myself from work for a week. It was everything that I needed. With that said, that happens far and few between, because that was my first vacation since July. So, things happen. We setting boundaries. We're figuring it out. But the blood, sweat, and tears pays off when you see the accomplishments of my students when they walk across that stage and get their diplomas at the end of the year. So, um, it's worth it. I chose this career. This career chose me. I love what I do, and so I'm just thankful that I am where I am in my career. Yes, we always want to grow, but this is what I prayed for. So, we'll make self-care happen as it happens.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. One last
Can
question.
I
I'm
just
sorry,
say,
because it
Kendra,
was
I'm
something that
so proud of you because I did the same thing in January, and that's the first time I've ever done that. And ditto to all the things.
So really, really quick, just because Kendra said something that made me think of a question. Just really quick, and it can be simple yes or no, or you can, elaborate a little more. Last question. Is this something that you always knew you wanted to do?
No, no. So my bachelor's degree is in psychology. I went to school. I knew Jennifer. I went to school. I was like, I'm gonna be a family therapist. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna help. I still wanted to be attached to kids and things, but I was like, I'm gonna get these families together. I'm gonna work with them, yada yada yada. And that ain't what the Lord had for me. So here we are. And as I reflect, in high school, I was a part of Future Educators of America. And then I've always worked in a daycare. It's just education has always been there. And I just didn't see it. And then when I saw it, here I am.
Okay, okay. Jennifer, you shook your head no too. You were like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Ma'am, no, absolutely not. And to the point, my master's is in counseling. So no, not no, this wasn't it. And it's so funny. My first teaching job, I was filling out my paperwork for benefits, and the guy that I was filling paperwork out was like, "You're going to be a principal one day." And I was like, "Who told you that?" I didn't really want to do this. I just kind of like, this just fell right in my lap. This was not what I was doing. I probably do this for a year or two, and then I'm moving on to something else. But doing something with children was always, it's like the shadow that was always there that you couldn't get rid of, and everybody
Mm.
else could see it and kept saying it was going to happen. And I was like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm gonna go be a police officer. Like, this is not it. I'm not doing this. So no, never would have ever thought that this is where I would be. But you do understand when it's your purpose, because there's a dedication that you have there that no money could ever give you. So I tell myself all the time, like, you can have the money and the job. Like, it's not that's not why I'm here, because the money is definitely not worth it. Everybody thinks that administrators make a bunch of money. We don't make as much money as the work that we do, because definitely just got up this morning and did some work on a Sunday, because a Sunday is a work day. Because if you don't do it on Sunday, you're not going to be ready for Monday. So, no, it definitely is a calling for sure.
Okay. Jazzy, we got some jewels dropped on us
Wow. Did we
today.
ever? Thank
Oh my
y'all so much.
goodness. Oh, that was good. That was a
Really, really
wonderful
good.
conversation. That was really good. So Jazz, now we know as moms what we need to do
Right.
even more, for our
Exactly.
babies.
Right. Exactly.
I love it. All right. So again, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful conversation. This has again been awesome. We are so appreciative of you all being our first guest for our first live Second Sundays.
Thank
Woo!
y'all.
You guys are amazing. All
Yes.
right, Jazzy, you got any closing remarks?
Just thank y'all so much. And yes, just like Nick said, I now know what to do to advocate for my babies that are in school. I got one in elementary, one in middle school. So yes, I got some jewels. Thank you much.
Yes. So we always end our show with a motivational thought to carry for the week. And so this week's motivational moment is everything, and I do mean everything that you want, that you dream of, that you desire is on the opposite side of fear. So just go get it, y'all. Again, we thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. You guys are complete
Thank you
jewels.
so much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Can we just talk? Can we just talk about where we're going? Talk to me, baby.